exited on the position that you occupy today, there is some guy who is lost in the world, and if only that guy is discovered or the lady is discovered, you are doing nothing. So never think that you are that super guy that without you, nothing can happen. Just stay humble. I don't know how to explain it. You see all those things they read on the profile. Most times I tell people that it feels like it's obituary to me, because in this part of the world, it's only when someone has passed that they read those things. And how exactly I ever worked on those brands, I don't know, I can't remember. But all of a sudden I just realized that, oh, you've done this, you've done that. But please and please, there is a bigger picture ahead of us. And I'm writing, and like I said, I'm writing a book. What I do is I publish articles periodically to address issues. You are lucky, you studied comms, and I'm an accidental practitioner. That is the truth. But I realize that the people that I've been privileged to work with, they are more than the Harvard lecturers. So they are the people that I'm learning from. So as I learn from them, I put it in writing. And one of the articles I published in January is about communication in nation building. A classic example is the guy who is exiting the position of the White House in the US. It's because of communication issue. The guy before him, the reason why after so many flaws he's still regarded as a great guy, the guy before him, the Bill Clinton scandal, if I mention Bill Clinton, you don't remember that there was a global scandal that could have impeached him. But communication rose up and polished him. And today, you mention Bill Clinton, what comes to your head is the positive, the positive, the positive. There is a science to it. And to get that science of what communication can do, beginning from the four of us, the two of us, the home, the society, it is humility. Just stay humble, understand that you are nothing but just someone who is privileged to be there. Use it well, because again, you do not have all the time. By the time you exit, if you were the lazy type, there will be a question of what exactly did this person do. There is no time. Stay humble, learn, play your part, and keep going.
I think for me is, I would say just constantly learning. I always say that, for me, I never feel like, oh, I've arrived, or, oh, I'm there yet. Every day is an opportunity to grow. Every day is an opportunity to learn. And, and you can learn from everybody, right? I learn from my team. I learn from people I interact with. I learn from my clients. I learn from my mistakes. Every opportunity, just investing in learning and improving yourself and being a better version of yourself. And also just focus, being able to drown out the noise, because especially for people within my generation, there is Instagram. You're constantly bombarded with, oh, this is what this person is doing, oh, this is what that person is doing, and you're then thinking to yourself, what am I doing with my life? But I've just realized that, all that is just noise. Know what you're doing, learn, invest in yourself, and just stay focused and just keep moving and keep growing, and you will get to that destination, right? A lot of people, I feel like, are in a hurry to get somewhere, and this somewhere, I don't even know where this somewhere is, but people just seem to always be in a hurry. I always say sometimes I have conversations with my mom, and I'm like, I feel like the pressures of our generation are completely different. I have certain people when, certain people saying they want to do certain things at certain ages, and I think to myself, when I think about my parents, like maybe my father was like in his 40s or something before he did this. Well, please, I'm not there yet. So I think just focus and just being open to learn and learning from everyone around you. Those are the two key things that I abide by.
Okay, so first of all, the first two things they said, spot on. Keep your head down, just walk. There's nothing as great as someone who's just willing to do the work without asking for the credit. Like, there's nothing as amazing as that. I know we all want to be on the papers and get the accolades and all that, but if you can just forget about it, put your head down and just do the work, it just comes. I mean, they come. If they don't come, that's fine. Nobody can take out what they put in your head. But what I also add to what you just said about learning is that, so we're in a generation where there's a lot of information. When you're learning, just do this for yourself. Please ensure you learn skills that you can put to use almost immediately. Because what starts to happen to you is that you accumulate a lot of knowledge that you're not using, and then you assume you know it, and then you've not done it in a while. Then someone calls you and says, let's do this. Now you can probably talk game, you can talk a good game, that's fine. But when it comes to doing it, there's theory and there's practical. So you need to quickly, and I'm saying that because I made that mistake at the point in my life where I learned some things and then after a while I'm like, why do I have the certificate? You know, I did some hop sets that time and I thought I was going to use something, I used it again, and then now I don't know what's in that place. I probably will go back and read one of the slides and I'll talk the game, but when it comes to the real thing itself, I'm much slower, and the person who you're working with expecting that you can do that thing and just move very fast. You know, and then leads to the last point, and which is why I really respect Adedoyin a lot. So I feel like we have a rare opportunity in our lives as young, and this is like, I think it's something the world should start doing. We don't share enough. We don't tell our stories enough. Africa has too many secrets. There are too many stories that are hidden, that have died with people. My grandmother used to cure one certain disease with some leaves. She died with it. Nobody knows where that thing is. And we can bring that to what we're doing today. We don't share enough. I'm in some global communities, and what blows me away is just the fact that people come on there and they're just sharing stuff. You're not scared to share how much you're earning, you're not scared to share, as long as there's no NDA attached to it. Like, we don't share enough. And that's why I really love Comes of Me, because it's rare to see a place where people are not already putting some caveats based on what you're about to share, or people are either beginning to feel like they know too much. We need to share more, and because when you share, actually, just the back and forth with your colleague or your peer or your senior or whoever, you're stress testing your thinking, and as you stress test your thinking, what starts to happen is that you now know that thing more. But what we do is we learn and then we hide it, we keep it in there, and we hope that we'll shine. No, we need to share more. Yeah, because we have to, honestly. Because if not, we'll be stuck in this. First of all, we all agree our political class is not going to change this country. And if you also agree with me that most of our problems that we call out are just symptoms of the problem. The main problem Nigeria has is that we're an extremely poor and unproductive country. And so if you one way, and that's my theory actually, if you want to change the country, one way is to ensure that you leave more people out of, at least to produce and make more money. Whether it be in Nigeria here, whether it be as a freelancer, but that the point is that people are earning more money. Then we can probably make better decisions. So honestly, we need to learn how to share, because one, you learn more better, and two, that you build, when you share, when you raise the people around you, you yourself, you kind of just go up. Thank you.
A round of applause for the panelists, please. Thank you so much for your time. I believe we'll take a picture before you go back to your seats. Thank you.
Please, we can do better than that. Please give the panelists and our moderator a warm round of applause. I mean, in the spirit of sharing, Mrs. Sharon Adaigbe, in the spirit of sharing, Mrs. Sharon Adaigbe had to step in last minute, literally on the spot, to moderate. And if she had not fully committed, I don't think we would have been able to get such a good conversation, such a good panel discussion. So please, I would like you to specially give Mrs. Sharon Adaigbe a warm round of applause. She's the co-founder of the Coms Avenue, and the Coms Avenue, I mean, that's where it's all happening. And like one of the panelists said, I believe it's Dozie, that people just share
without thinking, with so much vulnerability. They don't think about what people say. You might think I'm not making sense, it's wrong. But the more we share, we can do that stress thinking. We can really stretch ourselves. So thank you to all our panelists for sharing. And we want you to also share your stories. We have a new YouTube live stream link. Please drop comments there. If you're in the Comms Avenue on the Telegram group, you'll notice that you've gotten the new link. So please share that across your social media platforms. The hashtag is still from Clueless to Success. I'm Mr. Bala Akinshere, your host. So if you're just joining us, please, we want it to be as engaging as possible. We've just had a panel discussion. We still have that fireside chat. And what I like about it is the person who is going to do it knows her, is a dear friend of the author. So I'm sure she will ask some questions to get the answers we really need and get that gist out. So just to see how everyone here physically has been listening, I'll just ask two people to just tell me something they took away from the panel discussion. So two people. So nobody wants to put up their hand. So I'm a teacher. I studied education with English and drama. So I don't have any problems with just picking someone. And when you look away, that is you telling me to pick you. So let me ask again. Anybody wants to share? Oh, wow. Okay, so you know what I will do? I'm that teacher. I'm going to ask 3 people to share. So just stand up and then you can face the camera.
Okay. 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 I think what I learned from the panelists is that there's really no stage. Sorry. There's really no stage where you say, okay, this is where I know exactly what I want to do or how to go about it. You keep learning, you keep being clueless, you keep finding ways, to, triumph, because it's actually, about cutting through the clutter. And for me, I think that a lot of the stories I've heard from the panelists actually relates to me, especially the one from Godfrey. It was just so perfect for me. So when he was talking, it was me, because I also studied philosophy. My parents wanted me to study law. I wrote JAM for law and all of that, but I ended up studying philosophy. I worked, in the agency, and now I'm working in the multinational, all those kind of things. So I think, just keep learning, just keep looking for clues to take you to the next level, basically.
He did well, didn't he? Give him a warm round of applause. Okay, the next person.
Okay, so what I picked up was, I think, something that I don't know his name, but he said that, he just wakes up and keeps going. He's not looking back to, not really putting pressure on yourself, but giving your best to every day and everything that you do. And then just really you make just consistency as well. I think the lady mentioned about consistency and just consistently doing what you do. That for me was my takeaway. Thank you.
A warm round of applause. The two things that have been said that really hit home, like just being clueless and studying one thing. Like I said, I studied education with English and drama, and in as much as I'm in the communication space, I still find myself using the education, using the English, using the drama, but not in the way I was taught. So you still have to stretch yourself and really keep going. Sometimes, you might feel clueless. Like, for example, today, I had somebody else in mind that was going to do the moderation, and all of a sudden, I just found out there was someone else that was doing it. So, you just have to keep going. The show had to keep going. Even now, we've encountered some technical challenges, but we've started a new live stream. We're going. And I mean, the comments have been great. So I'm just going to let one more person share, then I'll read some of the comments from our virtual audience. Please, let's tell people, let's share the new link so people don't miss out, and we'll obviously get it up on the YouTube channel afterwards. So the third person.
For me, what I picked up was what Ijoma said about just keep learning. You've never finished. You have to just continue. You have to get better and better and better. You can't just get better one time. There's that viral meme about some guy saying you can't get better one time. You have to step up, to step up, to step up. And that's just it for me. You just have to keep going, keep learning, and stay humble.
You're doing well. Even before I say give her a warm round of applause, you're already doing it. Please give her a warm round of applause. I loved the last line, stay humble, because sometimes you think you've reached, you've arrived, but as you're arriving at one peak, the peak is going higher. The summit it keeps increasing. So you have to stay humble. That look, even though people say I've arrived, I've not yet arrived. I can always be a better version of myself. I can get better at my career. I can stretch myself. So everything is good. Everyone here has been paying attention, especially in this generation where we're always pressing our phones. So it's good to see. Virtual audience, I'm getting to you. I also want to know your thoughts, and please let's also have your questions. I'm just going to read a few comments and then we'll move to the fireside chat. So this is from the previous live stream. A lot of congratulatory messages for Adedo Njaesimi. I like this one by Osarione Igbinoba, and it goes like this: congratulations, Adedo. God bless you. Your book helped me go through a tough day some days back. Shining your light has unconsciously given us permission to do the same. Thank you. Thank you for that comment, really. I mean, if you read one of such comments, then you know that your job is done, that you fulfill that mission, that you want to help people who might be feeling clueless on their journey to success. I'll read another one. Please, let's all have our phones on silent. Even if we're watching the live stream, let's just plug our headphones in. And this one is from Mrs. Adiola Aziz. I am so proud of Adedoyin, my gentle but giant mentee. Massive congratulations. I feel like I have a party at the moment. My ghost wise writer, today is indeed your day, and it is indeed Adedoyin's day. Please let's give her a warm round of applause. She's been working very hard behind the scenes, even though she's looking extremely beautiful today, but trust me, she's still working, and I mean, thank you so much. We'll still hear from her. We're having the fireside chat next. But I mean, you can see everything here. Maybe some of you at home might not really appreciate all that goes into doing a virtual event. Some people just think it's Zoom, and just log on your data and that's it. But here, I mean, there's a space that's been rented out. There are several cameras. There's the mixer at the back. There are different staff that are on ground, and really all of this has been made possible by generous support, different people. I mean, if I start mentioning names, we'll be here for a long time, but a big thank you to everyone who has contributed, their time, their money, their experience, their resource in making today possible. One of such organizations is Leading Ladies Africa, and if you've read the book or you followed Adedoyin's story, you know that she cannot talk about her communications journey without Leading Ladies Africa. I can speak from the cuff when I talk about Leading Ladies Africa, because they're really passionate about helping the African woman throughout their journey, whether it's in governance, it's in banking, it's in private sector. I mean, they have capacity building workshops, they have mentoring programs, they have webinars. They also, do this 100 most inspiring women every year. And for me, sometimes, I go back and read those profiles and I'm just encouraged that, if I can see women excelling in a career that I've always dreamed about, women like me, then I believe I can reach that place. So I think it's so important, the work they're doing in recognizing the work of women, in giving them opportunities. So a warm round of applause for Leading Ladies Africa. So now we're going to be moving to our fireside chat. Who's excited about this chat? No, you're not excited. I don't believe. Online audience, are you excited about this chat? I want to see excitement emoji. Which one is the excitement emoji? Is it the dancing one? Anytime, I think the dancing one has become everything. I'm excited, I'm happy, and jubilating is the dancing one. So virtual audience, please let's see your excitement on the live stream. When next I come back to the mic, I'll be reading some more comments. And please let's take some time to just post on social media, hashtag from clueless to success, really important. So we'll be moving to our fireside chat. As I mentioned earlier, the person who is coming to do this knows the author. So the kind of questions that are going to come, we won't just be fireside for the, they just say fireside, but there's no fire, but this one I believe will definitely be a fireside chat. So in fact, I want the applause to start going before I bring her up. That one was warm up. I'm not hearing my usual woo! No, warm up. But yeah, let's have it again. You say this MC, she has really made us work our hands today, but really it's important. I mean, people have made time out to be here. They've really sacrificed. I mean, we could all be doing something, preparing for the week ahead. So once they're up here, please let's give them our full attention. Let's warmly encourage them. It's not easy coming up on stage, especially when you're not a professional. So trust me, the applause really helps. So please let's make welcome Oduola Oshunleye. Was that okay? And I put you on the spot. Please, you have to introduce her or give her the... I already love this.
Her bad behavior in public. Hey, guys, pray for me.
So I want to start off by talking about how I met Adedemi and realized that I was clueless.
Please, I hope I'm not going to cry in this episode.
You can cry, but I don't think you're going to cry. So she talks about it in the book where she submitted a pitch to about working, volunteering with women for some social media work in the conference. I was working at women at the time, and honestly, when working in any organization, when someone volunteers to do something, I took it as a, oh, you're not doing enough. When they're like, oh, we're going to bring in this person, she's going to do this, she's going to do that, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? I didn't want to meet Adedemi. I honestly did not.
I didn't know this, so this is the first time I'm hearing.
Her and working with her was the beginning of this attaché friendship where she wouldn't leave me alone, following me up and down, calling me all the time, texting me. This is my own side of the story. You shared your own on Instagram last week. I'm sharing my own now. But it's been a learning friendship. There's no time that I want to do something, I can just easily text Adedemi, pick her brain. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And vice versa. And it's a big lesson. Reading the book, you learn that you never ever will know everything. Every single day you do something and you conquer that chapter. But while you're going through it, you really did not have all of the experience, all of the knowledge that you needed. It's going through. So what you know today, you're going to know more tomorrow, but it's less than what you knew yesterday. And when you realize that we're all clueless in every single thing. We're all clueless at life, at work, relationships. And accepting that will really help you grow, because it's when you accept that you know nothing is when you now open yourself up to learn. So that being said,
thank you.
My first question is, I really want to know, Adedemi is one person that inspires me. She's always doing something or some things. So how do you do so much with so little? How?
I was hoping she would ask this question first, because honestly, I don't have the answer. I wish I did have some aspire to everything answer, polished. I really don't. And a lot of you that know me know that I work with God. And whatever I feel that God is leading me to do, I do. My friends, Dami is here, Oduola is here. They know the times I have cried in this quarter, having no idea what I'm doing. Even this morning, I sent SOS to my friends that please, you guys, pray for me. But I think God just enables me. So I always just make sure that I am led in everything that I do. And I always pray. And I have a good support system. Shout out to Oduola, Damilola, Busola, all my friends. They just hold me up. Seya is here. Seya is a very strong woman of God that I can just say, guys, and I can be very vulnerable with. And they help me in those times. So while there's no perfect answer, oh, my brother, because I can see his eye, like, so I'm not here. Actually, my brother is such a strong source of support to me as well. I mean, in those early days with everything with my parents, my brother said, just leave her alone. If she gets to the end of the journey and it's not, she will come back and she will do the other. I mean, he's such an amazing brother. But yeah, I hope that answers it really.
I mean,
I tried.
We'll take it. But no, it really, it speaks to to the, the title of the book, Clueless, The Journey from to Success. You don't know, you're just doing it.
I'm just going, Sha.
We're just winging it, Abi. And we just have to continue, but, stopping along the way, looking to your friends for support, building that community that is always there to back you. Everybody in this room here today is some aspect of your community. The title that they hold might not be friend, but everybody's playing an active role in your life, and, we're just grateful to be here holding space with you.
Thank you.
After today, no this one.
You're right.
Back to normal.
You're right.
Okay. So I've read the book, and I know what makes you keep getting up after, it seemed like reading the book and, knowing you, it was two separate things, because someone that doesn't know you won't easily understand, like, after this setback, why did you get back up? Like, why not just hang the towel? Why not just go back into paid employment? What made you keep going every single time after every, setback or defeat, or, holding a dog with malaria, petting the dog? What made you just continue going?
Okay, so in the beginning for me, like I said, I came back from uni. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, and then here I was, working in Y Niger, and it just felt like, wow, I found something that I really love. Now, it was a gamble. I didn't know if it would work out, if I was, thinking wishfully, but I just had this thing in my heart that this is what I need to do. It may not turn out well, but let me give it my all. So every challenge, and the way that I am wired, even every team person that has worked with me, if you tell me problems, my mind is, okay, what is next? I'm thinking, so already I know they know me, plan B, plan C, plan D. That's how my mind is wired. So when life throws those challenges to me, I'm just thinking, okay, what's next? How do I get, and I'm not saying this that it's glossy, I just say, oh, what's next? Let's go. No, sometimes I'll first cry. After I finish crying, okay, what's next? And then I move on. But every time for me, it's just that there's just that push, and I just call it the divine push. It's just keep going. Even in this last quarter, it's only my friends that are close to me that know how so much of a stretch. Even my brother, I'll be vulnerable. Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago that I was crying? My brother said, you can't be doing that. I was like, I have to. And then I cleaned the tears. 1 hour later, I was back on the laptop working. So I just go like that. But it's just that thing, or I just know that there's something, I just know that I will strike gold if I keep going, and then that keeps me.
Yeah. As you know, that just takes me to my next question, which is, I know that your relationship with God is a big part of your life, and rightly so. But to some that don't have a relationship with God, and just even some people that have a relationship with God, it might be hard to understand how, how you just make that conscious commitment to, blend the two, your relationship with God and your career, and, when God says no, it's no, when he says stop, you stop. Like, how has that been? Give us examples of instances in your life where you just seen God, like, just come through like that in your career, and if you didn't, follow that lead in that divine push, it won't have been so.
Okay, so
before you continue, I know the specific one I want to hear about, so I'm hoping that's the one you're going to.
Let's pray, because I'm not inside your mind. So, like, the journey of my life, how this book is about my career, but how from childhood, everything that happened, to even how I got close to God. For me, it's not a compartmentalized thing. It's not career. It's me being me. Just because God has really delivered me from a really, really dark place, and I found purpose in God. So in terms of my career, and I'm not going to say I did it right all the time. Like I wrote in the book, there was a time that money, how much? When you're calling the money, I'm counting the zeros in my mind. I'm like, Father God, I'm a go for this one. But I did a lot of that and it didn't work out well. So it's not that I've done it perfectly, but I've also realized that every time I did something against what I felt led to do, it didn't turn out right. That has just been, even the money, I think I wrote it in the book that the money that I thought I spent it in hospital, I paid a debt. I'm like, what? If I had just stayed. So that's for me. So when people say, oh, this is your obedience, your surrender, I say, no, it's not really that. It's just that I've seen that if God is saying do this and I do B, I will always regret it. I've just come to that understanding. And in terms of the example, the one I always talk about is my South African trip. That one was, so me, first of all, going to Dubai that year in 2018, Francesca, shout out to Francesca, another strong source of support. And she's like, you must go on vacation. So that was when I was still running Content Craft. I said, Dotun and Co, their salary, oh this. I was like, no, I don't have time, I can't do this. But she kept insisting. So I was having a meeting with somebody one day, and then DMP Travels, and I'll shout out to them because, man, I really enjoyed the vacation. And then I saw this solo package for 400K in my mind. I said, that would just cost up 400K. I'm an Ijebu woman, and if, for those of you that are not Nigerians, we're very prudent. That's the word. We're very prudent. So I was like, just like this, I would draw 400,000. I was start calculating it. So the guy, comes in and we're talking, and then I don't know why we start talking about vacation. I say, my friend has really been saying, go for vacation. I said, look at this trip now, 400, just like that. And then he just started preaching to me about the importance of traveling. I said, you know what? Take 100,000 naira. I'm going to support this your trip. Okay. It is not bad. And then I paid for it, and it was all ready. So during the book launch, when I saw Mosun, and Mosun I met through Wimbiz, and she moved on to African Philanthropy Forum, and I was still with her. And when she came in, I was just like, Mosun, I hope that this year, and I was just joking because my Dubai trip was already booked and literally 2 weeks away. I was like, oh no, we're not traveling. I said, fine. And then she calls me literally 10 days to the thing, and then you can now go to South Africa. I'm already thinking, all the things I've heard about SC, somebody will now impound my passport. I will lose South Africa, lose Dubai, the money that I've been saving, I will lose it. My brain could not, I couldn't marry the two together. So the Friday, so let's say this is Friday, my trip was out like next weekend. I was with Francesca, and then Mosu calls and says, you can go to the embassy on Monday. I said, embassy on Monday? How are we going to do this? So it literally meant that I just had 1 week to do my visa and get it back. And all the stories I've heard, even the travel agent, Bolanle, man, you can't do it. You don't have appointments. You can't go. It's not possible. You can't walk. So then there was Uber. I couldn't get an Uber. So I was just walking. I first branch, I have to feed my tummy. So I went to Mega Plaza, got some Chinese, and I was just walking. Father Lord, what do I do? What do I do? And I just got to the junction and I see the Diamond Bank. Honestly, it was a push. Just do it. And I went, got that, all the stories in the world, got it, went there on Monday, told all the stories, drama, appointment, please sir, this, I got it. And then the visa was out on Wednesday. And it was just like, whoa. I'm not saying you should go and try it too, I don't know. But that's how it happened for me. And I've seen things like that when I just feel led to just go and do this thing, and I go for it, and I do. It's not that I'm not scared. It's not that there was a risk, and I was praying. As I was even, let me not lie, as I was dropping the passport, I said, Father God, this passport, I'm getting it back on Friday at the very latest. I didn't even care if they denied me. I just needed to go to Dubai on Saturday, so that's an example.
Wow, that was the example I was looking for. So thank you for sharing about South Africa. You mentioned Mosun. I know Mosun very well as well. We worked together at Wimbiz. And earlier on, they read a comment from Auntie Ade, Mrs. Aziz. How have you managed to build and maintain relationships, one, and keep not burn bridges when you go from one organization to the other, 2. And 3, manage personalities. You know, because it's you know, personalities. When I read about the dog with malaria, I wanted to enter the book and slap the dog, slap the owner of the dog, and maybe push you, not slap you, but push you because, yeah, couldn't be me, Sha. I don't know if anybody else will treat a dog or attend to a dog with malaria. Couldn't be me, not the one or the two. But yes, please.
I didn't even write about how I quit that particular. It was very dramatic. It was a photo shoot, and I guess that's why photo shoot these days. I'm just like, because they've shown me Pepe in this Lagos, and I will not mention the name because I don't want anybody to sue me. That day was Sunday, and where we do the photo shoots, the photographer always says, "Call me when the celebrity is here," because he knows these people. So we had been there hours, hair and makeup, and then this person just comes in, looks around, and then goes out. And next thing I'm getting a call. I don't know, how dare you keep this person waiting? Go to that shouting. I said, who? This person that I said, you know what, guys? Here's where I end it. I'm done. It's over. I've put and my house literally was like 5 minutes away from the studio. Everything you need. And I walked out of that shoot. First time I've ever doing such a thing, but I was just like, done. So it is an interesting thing. And I haven't been very great with relationships. I'm going to be very honest with that. Even my team members, when I was running Content Craft, when they start getting too emotional, I'm like, I don't do this. I don't speak straight. What's the issue? And then some of my corporate clients as well, when it started becoming, oh, you don't check up on me, I travel. I'm like, but if you need something, ma, I'm here. Assign, why am I calling you? So I had to learn a lot of these things that, okay, check up, be there on the birthday. I don't like parties. I'm an introvert. So if it's your birthday, happy birthday, ma. Why am I coming to a gathering? So it's been me learning. I haven't been very deliberate. There are relationships that I could have done better at nurturing. There's some I've just walked away. So in terms of the jobs, the transitions, the one that I know that I did really, I would not say really well, but it was better, was when I was working in Victor Adeyemi Ministries. And I told him that I wanted to go and set up, and I wanted him to be okay with it. If he said no, I would have actually stayed. And he said it was fine. And that was the one that I knew that, okay, I made an effort to. And maybe because he's my pastor, maybe that's why I did it like that, I don't know. But it's something I'm still working at. I'm not very, I don't call people every day. So, Ojuola, I don't call you every day. Damola, I don't call you. It's not me. But I'm learning to just be there when it matters to them, know what's important to them, listen, and when you listen, you have an undertone of, okay, this thing is important to this person. Mosun, for example, is not a person you will call every day, right? But she values your presence. When she invites you for a Christmas hangout or something, try it. I mean, she doesn't do it every time, so I would always try to go. So try to say, okay, what's important to this person? And I'm just learning. I miss it a lot of times, but I'm still learning.
So what I'm hearing is just understanding the person,
yeah,
and knowing what's important to them.
But I should add that you need to put boundaries. Because there are some people, 1 a.m., you're in Japan, how's this my problem? We're in Nigeria, this is 1 a.m. Mm-hmm. You need to actually put boundaries. And I've realized that people will poke at the edges of your boundaries, and the more you concede, the farther you begin to go, and you don't realize when you've compromised so much. And I don't mean compromise in terms of something bad, but boundaries of, it's not okay to call me at midnight. And even my staff, I always tell them, and the people that work with me, we don't respond to me because I have brainwaves in the middle of the night. So even if I send you something, don't feel the need to respond to me. I'm just doing it because I know in the morning I would have forgotten. But you need to also set boundaries in this relationship, especially when it's like male, female, but we leave it at that.
So, has, setting boundaries, because, we live in a very male-focused society where men feel, everything is their right, so they have a right to your time, they have a right to everything. If you can think of it, they can, so they feel entitled. So, has your need to set boundaries, which is very, very important, has it ever, caused you to miss out on some client or a relationship or an opportunity, and how did you handle that situation?
Yes, there have been a few that, obviously, because you have to be firm in what you stand for, otherwise anything goes. And because I don't place money as my goal, I've worked, in fact, if I just get to say, how can you walk away? if you mess any small thing, is it how much balance? Keep it. If it's money, I can easily walk away. So there have been opportunities that I have missed out on or not being, and it's not even because they were inappropriate. It's just, why are you telling me to leave my house on the mainland, to come to the island, to speak to you for 5 minutes, and I will go back because of, whatever it is. So I just feel like those things help me to learn. But there have been opportunities, there have been times I politely say no, there have been people angry, they'll cuss at you, wish them well, and I try not to let anything stick to my heart, because life is a lot. So I can't be mulling over, this man, this woman, this, but what I try to do for every relationship or anything that happens is, what could I have done better? In as much as I'm saying, set boundaries, do this, could I have handled this better? What could I have done differently? And I take the lessons and I move on.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So I want to take you back a little bit. I know Red Media played a very huge role in your career and just the direction that you focused on at the end of the day. So what are your key lessons from that? What was that like?
It was very interesting. I'll use the word interesting. It was a lot. Like, I will not say which of the family member, but my family member, you work like a banker, you don't earn like a banker. That was the reality of that job, because it was round the clock. I remember a time that I was in church. I was about to go and not lead worship, and I got a call. This news just broke. It's not on the website. I said, sir, I'm about to go and take the mic. They don't want to hear all of that. But it stretched me in a lot of ways. But I think that one of the things that it taught me as well was the kind of culture that I wanted to build around me, that kind of team. I don't particularly believe that. So I don't know. I don't think life is hard. This one that we always struggle, and a lot of organizations have office politics, but I don't see the need. I feel like we are collaborating to achieve the same goal. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake, but not that, Size Oduwala was the one that messed up. That thing used to just, it was just very interesting. So it made me very deliberate when I was running Content Craft to let them know that you guys are a team. Look out for each other. And even after, it's still one of my proudest moments, that even after I've shut it down, they're still gisting like sisters. They're still friends. And that was, don't come and tell me another person's gist. I don't want to hear it. I didn't want to foster that kind of culture. And that trust was very, very important to me, to know that I can lean on my colleague, I can have an issue and say, Oduwala, please cover for me if the boss asks. Not because I'm doing anything wrong, but something just happens and this person will not throw me under the bus. It was something that I really needed to learn. And secondly, the work ethics. I remember leaving Red Media, and I can't remember, was it NYSC, and they were complaining. I said, is this work? You people have not seen work. Are you complaining about this? There's a good and bad side of it, because I started working around the clock. I didn't have boundaries. My brother would tell you, 2 a.m., my mom would say, you're pressing laptop. So I also needed to, have I really stopped that, did you? I haven't really stopped that, but at least I make a conscious effort to try to sleep early. But it had that side, but there was that push to deliver excellence, which was what I got from Red Media. Give it your best. Don't, we always we are giving excuses. Those times where, when we had the internet dongle. So, there were a lot of challenges, but everything you say, excuses, excuses. So, if you like to use your blood for internet, so that made me think beyond the excuses. So it was very good. It made me see what to do better and what not to do, and that was a really good foundation.
That's very, very, very important, because I always call you, I think it was in May, when I started calling you Adedoyin Daniel. And
it's not on my Instagram. My brother said, where is Daniel on your IG? Are you entering into the lion's den?
I think we were in a prayer watch or something. And okay, extra story. But there's that spirit of excellence. Like Adedoyin is someone that, no matter what it is she's doing, and she does a lot, she just wants to do it well and do it excellently well. Like it's always a case of, so how can we do this? How can we do that? And it's something you have now, kind of given backstory to what really helped ingrain that spirit of excellence in you. So, my next question is not really a serious question, but I really need the answer.
Oh, God.
So Fresh or Hallmark, you have to only pick one.
Hey! This is hard. My God. This is hard. Look at my brother's face, is like, this guy is a goner. Or Hallmark. I'll pick Hallmark. Hallmark has been there for me. Hallmark has been there for me. In fact, you called me yesterday. Was I watching Hallmark? Yeah, so I'll pick Hallmark. And if you don't know Hallmark, please, they show the very, very nice Christmas movies. They're very cheesy, but they're very lovely Christmas movies.
I have no words I did doing. Because I did do is, it's either she's eating from So Fresh or waiting to eat from So Fresh or she's watching Hallmark movie. Those are the only two things
Please,
she
by the
does
way,
outside of pressing
Tomorrow
laptop.
is my birthday. I don't want that everybody
Don't buy her So
will be
Fresh.
calling me and say, So
Don't
Fresh
buy
is at
So
the
Fresh.
door.
Don't buy So Fresh, please. I think she has had enough So Fresh for the
There's
year.
no supermarket
Please.
for them now.
No, like everybody else should eat So Fresh if that's what you want to eat, but not at doing. Please, not at doing.
That's a wicked question.
But I think my last question, and till question from the audience or from the virtual community, do you think you would do it again in the same order? Like, would you change anything?
That's an interesting question. There are things I definitely would do differently. So yeah, maybe not in the same order, but I wouldn't wish away the painful moments or the challenges because everything has brought me to where I am now. I think the things I would have done differently, be more deliberate about relationships, and just really carrying people along in terms of friendships. So even my close friends now are friends that I've made in the last 5 years. There are a lot of friendships that I thought, I shouldn't really have just left this person. But everything is always a key lesson point. So honestly, only a few things, but I'll do it again.
Sorry, I lied. I have one more question. So the boundaries you had to set in your professional career, where you were saying, it was always work, 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 with Red Media and wherever you had, a 9 to 5, were they the same boundaries as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's kind of linked, but the difference, being an entrepreneur, everything stops, They're calling you for everything, especially when you work with this. Ma, something happened, and they're just so emotional. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? And like, calm down. What's the matter? Or they've done something wrong, So it takes a different level of stress. I even need to create boundaries with my team members. I don't want to hear these problems. Sort it out. So I used to tell them, before you call me, make sure you've thought of plan B, C, and D. Only then should you then call me. Otherwise, everything gets to your table and you're dealing with so many things. Or they say, oh, we just want you to know so you will not worry, but you've told me and I'm going to worry. So setting the boundaries with the team. And I also think, so because a lot of times even before COVID, I was working from home, My mom would just call me, are you doing, bring out the fish, season the fish. I'm like, I can't season fish now, mommy, I'm inside the meeting, So just acclimatizing the fact that, I'm actually working, I'm not loafing around in the house. But setting those boundaries with my parents is also very interesting. But yes, I think it's just those two.
Thank you very much. So any questions for, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much, Adedoyin, for an amazing book.
Thank you.
I must apologize for coming so late. I had this question for the panel. I don't know if somebody has asked it. I was going to ask if you had any words for people that are young coming into this field. I imagine that you have a lot of people like that, So coming into the field of communications, it's a very peculiar space, marketing, and of course, there are a lot of other people watching. So any words of advice for young people as well from any field?
Sorry, I didn't before you answer. I think we should also allow our panelists answer since she really wanted to ask them that question, and there are two of them still around, so they will both answer, then you answer last. Yes, okay, great. So we also want to take more questions, and then we'll answer all the questions together.
Sounds
good. She's good.
So I just have a question because, there are times when I was reading the book, I'll be like, what's wrong with this lady,
I know, they've
but
abused me very well.
like when I started reading the book, it was very for that career person, that's what you want. Oh, school abroad, doing your master's abroad. And then the one that really made me say, what? Was when, she went hawking, and I'm like, God, I can't. So I just want to know, yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? questions? Any more questions?
Can I start answering the puzzle?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said before, my mind, when there's an issue, it's thinking of solutions, whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense, it's impossible or it's not impossible. When you enter, the way Red Media was that time, you enter, there's this store, and then my office was there. Every time they will open that store, I will see stacks and stacks. And that magazine, I sweated, deeper, chasing up contributors, photo shoots, and the cover, we will have cancelled it like 3 or 4 times, though, the final one that you will see, the drama that will happen, getting then post, copy editing, sitting with the designer page by page, then somebody will tell me that you're gonna just stack it. I was like, no, this is not where this thing is going to end. And that was literally the motivation for me, because I couldn't have put in that much work every single edition, and it's just there and nobody is trying. So I had heard the official, oh, there's a system to distribution in Nigeria, this is this. Okay, but every time I go on the road, that time we had Complete Fashion. Complete Fashion was #1. I never see this magazine. So I started befriending the vendors. How far? You don't hear of this magazine before? He said, no, never. So I said, okay, these agents, where are they actually taking these magazines to? So what do? You're meant to distribute to the guys on the road. I see these guys on the road, I speak to them, because sometimes when I was in the bus, as they come like this, I said, these people, they are human beings. So 2 + 2 in my mind were like, carry a few boxes, walk around, give it to them, let's see what, and so that was what was on my mind. And I started with Anthony on that bridge, because we lived in Anthony, and that guy, God, even after I left Red Media, sister, you know they sell magazine again, you've not brought new edition. Every single time that man saw me, I was like, Jesus, Jesus. But because I would always beg him that, so I just went, when I went to the island, it's not now that I know the island, I didn't know the island. The bus dropped me at, I think, Oniru side. I was just walking. As I spot vendor like this, my target market. I go, I talk to them, and for that particular edition, I saw the magazine. Obviously, it's not sustainable, but at least I proved a point to myself that there's an official system, but clearly it's not working. If I had the time, honestly, Deepo, if I stayed in that role, I would have cracked a distribution model. That's just how I work. Something must change to achieve my outcome, and that something needed me to go, although they not told me to work in magazine, but I felt so fulfilled that I did it, and I have no regrets whatsoever. It didn't bring direct, I'm not earning commission per se, but it was just, I have put work in this thing. People must read it. You must at least see that it exists, and then that was just it, yeah. So I was not mad.
Yeah. I mean, she was essentially just proving that she's not mad, because madness is doing the same thing over and over and trying to get a different result. So she just wanted something to work. She wanted something different. She wanted